fact, my little boy, who is now he'll be 9 in April, but he was diagnosed with autism at 15 months. And it has certainly been a life journey for my wife and I of discovery and depth and challenge and through.
Hi, I'm Shantae. Welcome to Parenting Special Needs Live. Have you ever felt like you had to put your dreams on hold? I know I have. Feel like, life threw you a curveball and now you might be too old to chase your dreams? Well, today's special Rockstar father guest knows that feeling all too well. And he is a longtime bassist and member of Wren, Kevin Whelan. And Kevin also has a son that is nonverbal and autistic, so he's part of our community as well. He's starting to think that it might be too late or it's his last shot to follow his dream of being a rock star. But he decided he's going to go for it. And today he's here to talk to us about his newly released first solo album that, might I say, was inspired by his son. So please help me in welcoming Kevin Whelan to our show. Welcome, Kevin. I'm excited to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the time and that lovely introduction, and really great opportunity to spend time with you and to your whole your community. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. So I wanted to start off by asking you to share a little bit about Eon Station and was it inspired by your son?
Yeah. Absolutely. I've done music most of my life, and I've always balanced music and my passion with work, because everyone's got to pay rent and everyone's got to pay bills. So I've always been lucky to do music while having your 9-to-5 job. And as life went through and complexities grew, sometimes it would go on the back burner. But through COVID and through through the love and support of my wife and family, kind of said, hey, look, maybe I should dust off some of those old dreams and see what I can make of it, and just to enjoy it for what it is in this space of my life. But through COVID and through many kind of circumstances, created a collection of songs that pulled together to make a record called Observatory. And luckily enough, it's out on Sub Pop Records, which is an incredible record label out of Seattle, Washington, and they're very famous for discovering Nirvana and all kinds of things. Wonderful people, an amazing label, great artists. So we're lucky to put the record out with Sub Pop. And yes, in fact, my little boy, who is now he'll be 9 in April, but he was diagnosed with autism at 15 months. And it has certainly been a life journey for my wife and I of discovery and depth and challenge. And through COVID, I think it was extra complicated for parents with special needs children, because we couldn't all just jump on Zoom, right? Most of the kids can't sit focused, let alone be remote training. And here we were in this world of just major complexity, and it had us turned to each other, and that helped, and kind of an outlet of music and writing songs. And it was interesting, the name of the record, Observatory, was actually really inspired by my son, just in the way he observes life, because he doesn't have normal conversations with us, or it's not that kind of relationship. But he is certainly well in our world, and he is the driving force of our family and love. And so the record actually was really named after him and inspired by him.
That's awesome. So I want to ask you too, because I know my husband, I don't know if I shared, but my husband is a bass player. So
oh, cool. Yeah, great.
So I know that he similar to you, he had to get the 9-to-5 job that but still always trying to make sure his dreams are he gets to pursue them. So he plays quite a bit. But anyways, he was, I know it's been a challenge for him, also having, a family and still trying to pursue that dream, because it's, I'm sure it's in you, right? It has to come out. So how has it been for you balancing music and raising a child with special needs?
Yeah, I think at some point, I think everyone who does music or arts realizes they might not make it. I think there is that kind of realization. And then I think it's a wonderful moment when you realize that dream of becoming Bruce Springsteen or whatever your dreams might be, might not actually be what's going to happen, which is fine, because then you start to realize why you love it and why you've done it ever since you were a kid or whatever you have. But I think what I've been lucky with is that the challenge, it's one of those great moments where the challenge actually turned into the opportunity and the benefit. So it was no longer a challenge to kind of have a family and a job. And that became all of the fire for the music and for the work, as long as I didn't keep them separate. I will say that I struggled, and my wife would even attest to it. There were times when I struggled to keep them separate. And that's when things got a little weird, right? For me, and even just in my life and managing it. But once I finally gave in and said, hey, I have this beautiful son, I have my other son as well, and and then the family unit, and then the work, all of it started to complement everything. And I was like, wow, I actually really can do it all, right? And that actually, the challenge sort of disappeared, and it became, I would say, the fuel for the engine to actually do it. So that's what's been great.
Wow, I think that, and I think that's really great, and that's, I think, important too, because I think in my own family that might still trying to separate stuff, and
Yeah.
and I see that, and being artistic myself, sometimes it's hard, but once you, anyways, that's interesting to bring it all together, and then
it
has a way of working itself out.
It fuels your art, right? Because I think I got to a point where I wanted to be as genuine as I could. And when I stopped pretending that I was going to be, there is a great quote, again, about, not that I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, but he has a great quote. At some point, you have to stop being the man you're dreaming of and start being the man you are, or being the person you are. And I think that, with my age and that, it kind of helped. So yeah, all of the assets, the challenges were actually the assets, and I was just foolishly not looking at them that way.
Oh, I love that. All right. Well, while you brought up quotes, I have a quote that I pulled from one of your songs that I wanted you to share with share a little bit more about it, because it kind of ties in with this. But maybe you can tell me the background or how you came up with everything can be replaced but your time. It's from the Alpine Drive.
Yeah. Right. And I think, that actually, it's funny. Thank you for quoting that. I think at the end of it, that is what the entire record really is going after. I've been doing music since I was 16. I was in, and still am in the band, this band called the Wrens, who has always been a little bit like a cult favorite, sort of in the scene for many years. And we waited a long time to do things. Sometimes for good purposes, right? To make sure that it was work that was good. But more often than not, I just saw decades flying away. And for what purpose? And I realized that we all realize that you just don't get it back. And you're missing all of those opportunities, in that song. I also speak, like, where are the memories for all these plans that we keep making, right? It's all these plans that we put so much emphasis in making the plans, but not realizing them and not having them come to life. So the quote was the realization of, and hey, I turned 52, and the clock doesn't go back.
Right? I mean, hey, you could be somewhere else, right? So thank God.
That's right. Listen, and so hopefully someday you and I are talking when we're 82, and we're like, hey, I made another record, or you're doing your art, and why not, right? So that's it. It's don't and again, it was my wife that forced me on this. Like, your dreams of this Jenga-like perfection that you're going to turn this into, it's never going to happen. Just get in there and get going, right? Get going.
All right. Well, I already love your wife, so
yeah, she's
that's awesome. Cool. You guys, because she was helping out in the background as we got started, so I appreciate that she was helping us. So, all right. So, and I appreciate you sharing that about the quote. And did it like just pop into your head? Like, how did that quote, like, it, was it?
No, I think it was really, it was specifically directed that I had waited a lot in my life. You know, sometimes you wait on people, sometimes you wait on fear. You know, fear traps us, I think, quite a bit, or these self narratives that we write inside our minds, right? Well, I'm not good enough, or it's supposed to be this way, and why did it go this way, and here's what it's going to be, and it's all false, right? It turned out to be false, and you know, even the first lyric of that song, which again I'm very proud of the lyrics, right? It's like, you know, why should I feel like I have so much time? Like, what gives us this, I don't know, this sort of bravado that we feel that we have all of this time, and we have so many, especially through COVID or family, where you're like, oh, you know, they might have passed too young, or something happened in their life, and you just there's an urgency not to wait. That's the way I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, no, I think you have to. And I don't, let me see. Well, was there, and what advice do you have for parents that are raising a child with special needs?
Ooh, yeah, I'm right with you. So, you know, lots of love and compassion. I think that all parents with special needs children have a connection, even if they don't know each other, or they might not even like each other, or whatever. There's a bond that brings us all together, because I think there's a depth of empathy and compassion and love, and you know, it's something in your life that you're just not planned for, or you're trained for, or equipped for, or over and over again. So you have to learn all these new techniques and skills, and you have to change and reverse dreams, and all kinds of stuff. And everything, yes, everything comes out in a beautiful fashion, but it still doesn't, you know, take away the fact that society has so many things and plans that we live into that won't be that case, right? You know, it's a typical story, right? You know, my son doesn't have any birthday parties, you know, with the neighbors and all that. I mean, we do with the family, but you know, there's a lot of similarities that go through, I think, families in this way, and you know, it's really hard. I think it's easy to kind of look and say positive, you know, platitudes on how to do it, but the reality, I think it's just hard. I think
Yeah.
when you have a special needs child, you're tired, you get depressed, you feel lonely, you know, you have all that. But then on the flip side, you do get this strength where it's like, oh, the hell with it. I'm not worried about what anyone thinks or says. And it gives you, it does give you another bucket of strength that you might not have had.
Right. And I want to share on that a little bit too. Like I think it also gives you more insight into other people. Like you have to have
Yeah.
more empathy for humans, right?
Yeah.
Or others,
Yeah.
because you never know what anybody else is going through. And we know what our kids struggle through and what we're
Yeah.
struggling through. And we have no idea what anybody else is.
That's so beautifully stated, and you're right. And now the way I look at it is that everyone is going through something.
Yes. No
You
one
know,
escapes. Everyone is
no
going
one,
through something. That's
no
what I tell
one.
my husband. No one escapes, you know?
Yeah, don't worry. Everybody's
Well, everybody's dealing with something.
yeah, it really is true.
Okay, so let's go back to the album for a little bit and share with me a little bit about, because I did listen to all of the songs. I'm not going to go over
Oh
all of
gosh,
them.
okay, that's great. Thank you.
Dreams Won't Come True from Leaves.
Yeah,
And what was the other one? There was another one that, and you might want to share, because each of them have like a purpose, right? I mean, or
yeah,
an
yeah. Each song,
observing of a certain situation, right? That you're kind of
yeah.
sharing
Each
about.
song, and I think the whole part about the dreams is that your dreams don't disappear. They just change, and you change with your dreams. And I think where it might get negative is if you don't change with the dream. If you really hold on to the dreams you may have had when you were 18 or 28 or 38 or whatever it might be, you have to be agile with your dreams, because they can kind of reveal a lot more, and a lot deeper sense of what you're doing, right? And also, again, it's this thing about we live so often for what other people think, whether it's parents or communities or friends, and you know, just the hell with it. Just the hell with it, right? If you don't like it, then move along.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And I agree. We must be similar in age. Well, we are. I'm older.
Yeah.
No fair. We're not going to tell
Yeah.
you that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
my age.
Listen. Hey, listen. Listen.
We're not talking about it. We're young.
That's right. Exactly. It's a number. Right.
But I think the same thing. And I think that's kind of something that COVID taught me, was like, you know what?
Oh.
Why should we like go with what society says? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like they're dictating our lives. And anyway, well, that's a whole nother story. But anyways, but I did appreciate your album, and I did like some of the I like Fade too. You
Oh,
know,
good. I'm
like,
so glad. Yeah, that's sort of like the dark rocker. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
fun.
is dark, but it's kind of like I liked, what did I write? Pain changes and it can disappear. I mean,
That's
it
right.
does, it
Yeah,
fades, right? I mean,
it's
it
trying to
fades.
be turn everything into a triumph, even if it takes a while. That's
Right.
it.
And
Yeah.
I think that's life, right? So,
Amen.
okay, so now is there anything else you wanted to share that I didn't ask about? And
No,
where do people get your album? I mean, is it sub?
yeah, no, it's everywhere. Again, it's out with Sub Pop Records. You can get it on the vinyl if you like the old school stuff, but it's on iTunes, and it's through all the platforms, and in YouTube. And I think I think I'm very privileged and honored. I think I'm a good example of, yeah, don't quit on your dreams. If you believe in something, go for it. It might turn out to be something different than what you might expect, but more often than not, it's better, right? So I'm very, 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 very lucky.
I love that. Okay, now I have to share this little. I have to ask you, because before we get off
Yeah.
the.
What about your husband? What's he
Yeah, my
plays
husband
bass?
asked me. He's like, okay, ask him about the. So, what kind of gear do you, or okay, what kind of instrument do you play? All right, first I'm going to share what he plays. I don't know if I should. I don't know how we do
Yeah.
this, but he was like, he plays Michael Tobias design, Fender, Zadowski, and
Wow.
Music Man, 4 and 5 string. And I don't know, he has something Fender P and J. I don't know. He wrote me like a little.
Wow. He's got a Fender P bass and a J bass. Yeah. See,
So I don't know. So what do you play?
he's the real deal. So
You're
you tell
the
your
real
husband
deal.
that if I get to come hang out with him, I get to, because in the world of like geeks and music geeks and bass players, right?
Yes, he's a
He's like the
geek.
Maserati. He's got some
Oh,
Maseratis there. He's
oh.
got some Porsches. You can make him laugh. I play on a Yamaha bass that my parents got for me when I was 16 years old. So it's a Yamaha BB 300 bass. Tell him it's essentially what you get in high school. And yeah, it's stayed with me because I'm able to beat it up. He'll understand that. I'm able to
Yeah,
throw it
no,
around
I
and
understand. Yeah.
not worry about it. And it's like an old pair of boots. You're able to
That
kind of mess around
He
with them.
loves those too. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
did he just write down for me all of it? Now he does actually have all these. My husband loves. I consider them his other women, because he has, and I tease him too, because I know. I'm sorry, we're going off the cuffy, but I tease him because whenever I come in and he's on the computer, he's studying gear.
Well, listen, it is a world that is like, it's a little secretive, and you have to kind of go and investigate. And
Yeah.
then
So,
there's rarities, and there's it definitely is, it has a seedy side, which is a good space, right? Because at least, he's just buying stuff, right? He's
right,
buying,
right. He's buying.
strings or
Our garage
tubes.
is full. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's great. Well, tell him I said hello, and
I will.
yeah, it's about time.
It's
It's going to be
about
the
time
new
that we
trend.
haven't been out there. Well, anyways, I can't thank you enough. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks for sharing with me on the bases and that kind of stuff. I'm sure he'll get a kick out of that. So
Yeah,
thank you for
please,
taking the
please. No,
time.
let's stay in touch. And thanks to you, and thanks to doing this for everyone with special needs children, and still living and loving life to the fullest.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for being with me today on Parenting Special Needs Live. That was a really great treat to have Kevin join us. And in case no one has told you today, you are doing a great job. It's hard work. Be good to you. Talk to you soon.